vegetarians don't seriously care about animals, going vegan is the only option.
Those who complain that they're not being offered meat-free options alongside cheese or eggs don't seem to be on a cruelty-free path. This is exactly what the world wanted. Vegans not fighting regular people eating food, but vegans fighting vegetarians. You guys can fight forever and nobody will care. You guys can battle it out. Because at the end of the day, neither group is strong enough to beat the other. So it's a nearly guaranteed stalemate, and then we don't have to deal with either group. Isn't that fantastic? Dear teenagers at the airport, put on normal clothes. It doesn't have to be fancy, but for the love of everything holy, you don't have to go to the airport in pajamas. Just know. Signed, the son of Radio Free Tom. Why not? If it doesn't hurt you, you shouldn't care. Because the collapse of public decorum affects us all and makes our country a less good place to live. That's why. Then you should start with the adults who go to the airport with pajamas, because they are the ones who are making that type of behavior permissible in your opinion. Children aren't original. They follow along with their parents, and if their parents are comfortable going to the airport in pajamas, what do you think they'll be comfortable doing? And at the end of the day, who cares if someone's coming in pajamas? I care about getting to my gate on time because for some reason this giant airport isn't designed for anyone to get anywhere on time. I might be boarding in an hour, but it's gonna take me an hour to get there. See, that's what I'm concerned with. I don't understand why you're concerned with teenagers' clothing. Anyone on here want to do some military style training? 4 years in the Navy was enough for me. Unless you were a SEAL, you didn't get military training in the Navy. Sorry. Now the next, logical question would be, are you in the Navy? And I guarantee you that this dude, the first dude talking, would say no. Because I'm catching the vibe that they are gatekeeping on the behalf of other people, not themselves. If you're a man and your height starts with a 5, then you're not a real man, period. And if you don't want to be a homemaker or mother, then you're not a real woman. But that would be messed up for me to say because that's super arbitrary and not necessarily connected to womanhood, right? The same thing goes for height. Just because someone is short doesn't make them not a man. But you don't understand that because you're super shallow and vain and you think that making comments like this makes you feel better, when in reality, it just displays to the world how shallow and vain you are. To be honest, comments like this are detrimental to what you want. You want to be with a tall guy? Don't say stuff like this because tall dudes want to be liked for who they are and not fetishized for how tall they are. They avoid people like you because they know that you only like them for how they look and not how they are. By age 30, your circle of friends should be talking more about investing and creating side hustles rather than their favorite shows on Netflix. I have conversations with my friends currently about side hustles and investments while we watch Netflix, and we're all in our 20s. It's almost like that's normal conversation and shouldn't be allocated to an arbitrary age where you could say you're truly an adult. If anything, if you're having those conversations later in life, it goes to show that you missed out and your friend group is a little immature because you guys were too busy dealing with other things instead of side hustles and investing, right? I'm only playing by your game, so don't be upset that I said that. Girls, I need advice. So I was on a date with a guy last week and he ordered hummus and breadsticks before main course and I couldn't help but think it was weird. Like, it just strikes me as a more feminine snack. I felt weird for the whole night. You just called like half of the world feminine because they had the audacity to eat breadsticks with hummus. Do you understand that's a staple food in like a lot of places? Not quite breadsticks, it might be pita bread, it might be something else, but you understand what I'm getting at? Hummus and bread together is pretty common. So what are you getting at? Maybe your friends and yourself eat breadsticks and hummus a lot and you associate that with femininity, but that doesn't make sense either? What are you jumping on? Why are you just trying to make this guy out to be a weirdo for having the audacity to eat something that he's interested in eating? If anything, he dodged a bullet. Young people in their 20s that think life sucks. Life hasn't even begun to kick your ass yet. Buckle up, buttercup. I mean, sure, life is hard, but to be honest, I'm living. I'm vibing. It's not too bad right now. So the fact that you're having a hard time goes to show that you've probably made some bad choices, and that's on you. Not everybody's experiences are the same, and not everybody's life has to suck. I'm too stubborn to live a life that I despise, so couldn't be me. It's hilarious to me that you consider yourself a gambling addict, but please do find a meeting and go. You'll hear some real stories and realize that you have a ways to go on your addiction journey. Are you gatekeeping addiction? Apparently he is. He's going out of his way to say that somebody else doesn't have a dependence or an addiction to gambling because it just isn't as bad as his dependence. Sorry that I haven't sold my house yet like you did. The way I was taught to swim. the way that kids are taught now to swim. Child abuse versus caring. And it doesn't even seem like the two children in this meme or in this post are even the same age. It seems like the child below is younger than the child above. So it makes sense to put some water wings on a 4-year-old than putting water wings on an 8-year-old. And I have yet to meet a single person who's ever been taught to swim the first way, because the first way is guaranteed to make sure that your child drowns. Y'all be having 80s, 90s parties, but nobody's smoking crack. Fake party. It's a fake party because one little aspect, the most negative aspect about that time period, isn't occurring at that party. It's an 80s and 90s party because we're wearing 80s and 90s clothes and listening to 80s and 90s music. We're not trying to develop 80s and 90s addiction. There's just so much projection here. That's what colors your childhood. That's what colors your 90s experience, is crack cocaine. I'm sorry for you. When I think of the 90s, I think of Nickelodeon and lots, and I mean lots, of delicious junk food. These are the real heroes after Avengers Endgame. Lol, get a real job, then you can be tired. What is a real job? We encounter this throughout this entire subreddit all the time. What classifies a real job? What defines real work? Is it income? Is it what work you're doing? I love how vague and open these statements are, because people never go out of their way to define it. They just use it as a means to put people down. And I get it. You're just jealous that you can't have free popcorn and snacks because you don't work in a movie theater. When you were studying for exams, writing essays, or just trying to create an environment for learning, what were/are your best pieces of classical music to listen to? Actually, that's not what classical music is for. Treat it with respect. What is it for other than listening to? What is it for? Please tell me. What other utility does music have other than entertainment? Seriously, what other function does it serve? Is it academic? Doesn't matter. It's music. It's meant to be listened to. In order for you to measure it as an academic whatever, it needs to be heard. So what is it for? Make it make sense. Justify it, because this is such a dumb statement. White South Africans are not South African. There is unironically no such thing as white South Africans. Why? Because they're not endemic to the continent? If that's your logic, then keep it consistent. Don't ever move to the United States, because you'll never be American. You'll be African. And the black people there are never American. Even if they're born there, and even if the only language they speak is English and the only culture that they know is American culture, they're not American. It just doesn't make any sense. They're not American, because they're African. I doubt that this person will stay consistent because they just want to be able to say something incredibly, I don't know, hyperbolic and annoying because it's Twitter. Like, seriously, bro, keep it consistent. I hate when a 22-year-old speaks to me like we're on the same level. Yes, we're both technically adults, but you need a half a dozen real adult heartbreaks, some dark bouts with alcoholism, and about a decade of depression and a rock bottom before you approach me as an equal. Like I said before, not everybody has to live your life. Not everybody has to live a terrible life in order to be an adult. You can be an adult and have a very fulfilled and very satisfactory life. Just because you developed alcoholism and just because you hit rock bottom doesn't make you more of an adult than me. If anything, I'm better at being an adult than you because I don't have trauma. I was able to be an adult without the hurt. People that study a musical instrument and join a symphony aren't really musicians. If your only musical talent is reading sheet music and playing someone else's music, then you don't have talent. A robot could do that. Real musicians write original music and truly know how to create music. Jesus Christ, anything to make you feel special, anything to make you unique, because you're in a space full of people who are talented and you need to find that pecking order to be the most talented, right? It's not enough for this person to be proficient with a musical instrument. They have to gatekeep being a musician in order to make themselves feel better. Oh, I can play the guitar and write music. Congratulations, but I can play the guitar and read music. We're still playing the guitar. The 4 horsemen of being a crappy cook. Nothing is wrong with any of that. It's literally just salt. It's just salt. That is lemon juice. It's lemon extract. The Parmesan cheese grated, yeah, it's a little cheap, but it's cheese. It's still cheese. Minced garlic is literally an ingredient. What are you talking about? But look, I get it. I'm supposed to mince my own garlic. I'm supposed to grind my own Parmesan cheese. I'm supposed to squeeze my own lemons, and I'm supposed to go out to the sea and boil myself up some salt. Are you serious? I get the salt, I get the minced garlic, I get the cheese, and I get the lemon juice, and I still make a fantastic bomb plate. The fact that you exert more effort to do the same thing as me doesn't make that thing that you made any more special. You're just wasting your time. people who didn't watch The Office UK are not the real Office fans. I don't live in the United Kingdom, which means I didn't have the chance to watch the original series. It was made over here because it was so successful over there. That's actually with a lot of TV shows. Until the day we have universal television across the entire planet, I don't want to hear this argument. As a man, if you don't have any tattoos, sit this summer out. Wow, so I have to stay inside because I don't have tattoos? You wanna know why I don't have tattoos? Because I haven't found a single thing that I want to put on my body that I think I'm gonna be cool with 40 years from now. You just told a bunch of religious men who are prevented from getting tattoos because they have to follow specific religious rules to stay inside. I swear, I think people online just need to assess whether or not their statement is actually funny and actually worth writing. But hey, no one does that because it's the online space and you're basically anonymous. You can say whatever you want to say, and it's Twitter. No one really cares about what you have to say on Twitter. But I swear, I wish we lived in a world where people had a little bit of common sense and were to keep their stupid comments to themselves, because at the end of the day, it's giving all of us brain cancer reading stupid stuff like this. Adults struggling with no kids is weird. What are you doing out here? I guess poor, very broke, very depressed adults don't exist. I guess adults dealing with a death or dealing with a sick family member don't exist. You know, there's different types of struggle out there. There's so many different types of struggle that people genuinely think that life is just always going to be bad. Nothing but problem after problem. And you genuinely think that people who complain about their problems while not having children makes those problems invalid? I disrespectfully disagree with that position. There's all sorts of different struggle out there, and people do struggle with children, but that's not the only type of hardship, and you need to get that in your head. Hot take, Mother's Day is really not for you when you're a grandparent. It is, but isn't. If your children are grown and you're no longer in the thick of motherhood, the day isn't about you. Sure, let's send a card and flowers and recognize you as our mom, but there should be more time and effort put into celebrating moms currently raising children. I say this as someone whose mother-in-law expects my husband to take the kids and drive 2 hours plus to hang out with her. You know, she might not be your biological mother, but she is your husband's mother, and maybe, just maybe, he wants to celebrate his mom. And yes, grandmothers do deserve to be celebrated on Mother's Day because they are mothers. Sure, they're not with the children consistently, but they are there, and they deserve some recognition because that makes sense. Women shouldn't code. Perhaps be influencers/creators instead. It's their natural strength. Coding is a brutal 24/7 job, mutually exclusive with motherhood. After 9 months of maternity leave, they come back obsolete and outdated. Elon Musk even says birth rate is falling too much. This isn't discrimination. It's like women soldiers. No one wants to see a pregnant woman on the battlefield. Ooh, look at that ratio. How many people kicked your ass for saying this? Look, if you're interested in learning how to code, code. If that's really what you want to do it. If you want to go into the military, go ahead, do it. No one's stopping you. And I'm pretty sure no one is pregnant on the battlefield. I don't even think they would let that happen because you're just a liability. What is this guy getting at? I really don't understand. I don't know why he's trying to draw this arbitrary line in the sand, and he got lambasted for it, so maybe he won't make a statement like this again. It just doesn't make any sense. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ailurus, aka Panda Daddy, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like if you liked the video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, fam. What you doing watching videos and not subscribing? And if you're old, make sure you hit that bell so you get these notifications every time. You're gonna get content from Monday to Friday, 5 pieces of content this week. I know you guys are looking forward to all of that. We have 2 new subreddits this week that I hope you guys really enjoy. And during this entire week, I will have a post in the community tab that is really important. I'm noticing that you guys are really enjoying the morbid reality content, and I really want to bless y'all. So I put in the community tab right here a poll that asks a simple question: do you want a marathon week of morbid reality content on this channel? Do you want Monday to Friday slam-packed full of morbid reality content? Do you want that? Yes or no? Let me know in the poll in the community tab. It'll be up there for the entire week, and if it's predominantly yes, then it'll be happening next week, Monday through Friday, nothing but morbid reality content. So if you're interested, go ahead and vote. And as always, we gotta thank the Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. A big thank you to Buckethead, Samantha Bellhart, Admin, AV8B Harrier 2 Plus, Swag Daddy 69, Zach F, Darth Titan, Fafnir Stuff, Keely, Dunder Has Hawk, Caroline Banana, A Generic Fox Fur, Viva LaRue, Julian, Benny's Big Bean Burrito, Knobs, Lady Laughs a Lot, Swiss Patreon user, Muffy Lou Who, Noah, John Robinson, and Catherine Taylor. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel, there's 2 links in the description, one in my merch store and one in my Patreon. Both funds go directly into the channel so we can maintain what's happening here. And as always, stay zesty!